Okay, so a warm welcome to everybody for today's session. So let me begin by appreciating Ms. Ashwini Sundar for this wonderful initiative of fact-finding process for women's mental health. We can meet new people, make new friends, get expert suggestions and advice from doctors and experts. So with this thanking note, let me introduce myself. My name is Vaijanti Earth, and I'm a psychoanalyst, a behaviorist, and a parapsychologist. And the topic for today's discussion is I, the personal brand. So let me give a heads up before we dive deep into the discussion. Personal brand means personal is I, me. Brand is who am I or myself. For example, I, me, I'm Vaijanti Earth. Who am I? I'm a psychologist. I'm a short-tempered person. I'm a good listener. I'm a good time management person, etc., etc. So, personal brand is all about I, me, and myself. So, with that note, let's move on to the PPT. Just give me a couple of seconds. I'll share the screen. Is the screen visible to everybody?
Yes,
Can
it is.
everybody? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So let us begin. So as you can see, today we are going to know what is the power of personal branding. So this term, personal brand, was first introduced in 1937 by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was an American author. He wrote a very famous book, the bestseller, called Think and Grow Rich. Here he explains how promotions at work and business grow just by creating a good impression on our customers. And when I say customers, it can be internal customers like our immediate managers, supervisors, or external customers like vendors, clients, and consumers. And the person who was influenced by this book and followed a few suggestions in this book and tasted success was our own Mr. Narayan Murthy, the founder of Infosys. There's an interesting story behind the start of the company. So, Mr. Narayan Murthy set up his organization in Bangalore and invited the investor to come and inspect his premises so that he can invest and the company could start. Once the investor got down the plane, he was taken on an elephant. He had an elephant ride from the aircraft to the car. Why did Mr. Narayan Murthy do this? Mr. Narayan Murthy had a small chat with the secretary of the investor and found out the likes and dislikes of the person. And then he came to know that the investor had a fantasy of having an elephant ride. And so this was done. And before both of them could reach the office premises, the deal was done. So, what do we learn from this story? Mr. Narayan Murthy, known for his exceptional customer service, created that brand, created the reputation, created an image for himself and the organization that Infoscience, people of Infosys call them Infoscience, Infoscience always go that extra mile to make their customers happy. So this is the power of the brand. The power of the brand will help you to speed up your career growth, expand your business, and attract investors to your business also. So moving on, let's look at the objectives of the session today. Very simple 3 to 4 objectives. First of all, let us understand what is personal brand in detail. Second, we will understand what are the ingredients necessary to build our brand. There are 2 important ingredients, that is to know yourself and to know what others think about you. Second, we will see what are the skills, what are the talents, what are the strengths necessary for us to build our personal brand. Last but not the least, we will see how the power of personal brand helps us build credibility and trust with our customers. So there are few rules we need to follow. As I told you before, have a paper and pencil with you. We have a lot of activities and discussions. So here comes the first activity. I want you to look at the first picture. What comes to your mind when you see picture number 1? Anybody?
Princess Diana with her kids.
Yes, and what is Princess Diana known for? What is her reputation, or what is her image with the people? She was a people's princess. She worked for the children on the street, especially. She's known to work for the children on the street. She's known to work for leprosy patients, AIDS patients, etc. So now looking at the second picture, what comes to your mind? Hello?
Nobility?
Nobility. Yes, Mother Teresa is known for her nobility, her work with the poor and the needy. And the third picture is of
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, known for his singing abilities and moonwalk. He was the person who introduced the moonwalk. And the last but not the least is
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. I'm sure all of us have been introduced to Apple products, and he was the founder of the Apple products. So, what do we learn from these examples? These people have created a reputation for themselves. They are known for their certain special qualities, and in addition, they are the leaders in their domain. Now, looking at their examples, let us define personal branding. So, as you can see on the screen, the first point what we need to understand is personal branding is the impression you create on the other person. And how do you create this impression? You create this impression through your work. So the second point is personal branding is also the reputation you create through your work with people. And last but not the least, the CEO of Amazon, Mr. Jeff Bezos, has said, personal branding is what people talk when you are not in the room. So what he meant to say was, now let's say I am introducing a friend of mine to all of you. So I say she's a good cook, she's a good homemaker, she also manages her online business while she's at home, etc. But as she moves away, I might just change my tone and say, you know, she is a brand, she is very aggressive, she is very short tempered, she just thinks there's no end to herself. So when we are talking about personal brand, the second part of what I told becomes very important, or rather is the only thing that matters in personal brand. So to sum it up, personal brand is an impression and reputation you create on the other people and what people talk about you when you are not there is the brand you have created. So it is all about what you know about yourself and what others know about yourself. So as I told you, we first should know what are our strengths and weaknesses before telling others who we are. For that, there is a small activity which we are doing, and this activity is called as SWOT analysis, SWOT, where S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So please take a piece of paper and pencil or your books and pencil. We are going to start with this activity. Are we ready? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes.
if you see the screen, you can see 4 blocks over there. The first block, which is in blue. Okay, yes, okay. So the first block, which is in blue, if you answer those questions, you will come to know your strength. So I want you to do it right now, simultaneously. So I will read out the question, write your answers, I'll give you a minute, and then we'll go on to the next question. Is it all right?
Yes.
Okay. So the first question is, what are the professional skills you have that makes you special or that makes you stand out of the rest of the people? Write at least 3 strengths of yours or 3 skills of yours which is related to your work. Take a minute. Let me know when you're done. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so the next question is, how are your skills helping your work? Now you have these 3 skills. How is it helping you work better than others? Like making work easy for you, or you are a quick learner, or maybe you can even train others and take brownie points from your manager. How are these skills helping you understand the work requirement better? Whatever the reason is, just mention 2 or 3. That's it. Are we done?
I am done.
Others?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we'll move on to the third question. What do others think of your skills? Now you have these 3 strengths of yours. What do other people think about you? Here, please consider only the office environment. Don't go into the family environment. So in the office, do people really like your skills? Do they appreciate you? They don't appreciate you? If they are not appreciating you, why are they not appreciating? Just write the gist of it. What do others feel about these skills to you? Have they told you? Have they not told you? We'll come to that later. Just make a note. Are we done?
Done. Yep.
Okay, moving on to the green block, which is the W of the analysis, that is the weakness. So now we are going to identify our area of improvement. I will not call it as weakness. I usually call it a area of improvement. So here comes the first question. What skills do you need to learn in your current job? Means what are the skills you should know and you don't know in your current job? Like maybe you have to take up a course, or maybe some technology wise you should learn something, or the soft skills part like communication skills, whatever. What are the things that you need to learn, you're still learning, or you need to learn in the present job? Just one or two. All right, can we move on?
Yes, we can.
The second question, what are your bad habits? For example, frequently getting late to work, like, I have to improve myself. What are your bad habits when your work is concerned? Maybe, I'm too much on calls or too much of meetings so that I can't concentrate on work, or too much of team handling that I can't concentrate on my work. So what are two bad habits, which stops you from doing your work? Shall we move on? Are we done? Okay, wonderful. Yes. So now the last question for the block. Now you have these bad habits. What do your colleagues think about you, or what do your boss, managers, supervisors, or customers? What do they feel about your weakness? They get irritated with you. They are okay with you, or they have given you a feedback that you should change. So what do they feel about it? Are we done? Okay. So now we'll move on to the third block, the purple block, which is the O of the SWOT analysis. O is opportunities. Opportunities means what are the opportunities we have at hand to build our personal brand. The first one, let's say you're an online seller, or or you're into business. It is for them. What are your customers buying from others and not buying from you? And if you're an employee, what are the skills your colleagues have that you don't have? Write down two of them. Are we done?
Yes.
We'll move on to the second question in the same block. So what strategies you need to use for people to buy from you, or what strategies you need to use to learn the new skills which your colleagues have and you don't have? So what is the plan for you to learn these skills? What have you planned? Taking up training, Googling it, self-study, having a discussion with your mentor? Just write one sentence plan. What is the plan for you to acquire the new skills? Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go on to the last question in this block. How can the new skills help you in your work? Will it speed up your work, or will the mistakes be reduced? Will you get a good name from your senior? How can these skills help you in your work? Just write one or two reasons. How can it help you? Are we done? Okay, moving on to the T, the orange block of SWOT analysis. T stands for threats. Now, threats are things which we find it very difficult to handle. Okay, for example, somebody is doing very better than us, they are way forward than us. Can they replace us in our business, or can they replace us in our work? So, who are doing a better job? Here you can write down the names of the people, maybe your colleagues or your, co-business partners. Who are the people who are doing better than you? And the second question is, can they replace you in your job? Yes or no? Are we done?
Yeah.
The second question is, now we discussed about the bad habits and the weakness. Now here the question is, now how are those bad habits affecting your work? How are they stopping you from giving your best, from giving your 100%? Just give one or two reasons. Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay, the third question is somewhat similar to the second question. Apart from whatever bad habits you've written, is there any other thing which is stopping you from advancing in your career or expanding your business? Maybe too much of home responsibilities, responsibilities of children, the elderly people, or maybe the environment, the weather, or your sickness, your illness, whatever. That is the last question. What are the other obstacles that prevents you from giving 100%? Are we done?
Yes.
Okay. So now what we have done is we have done a SWOT analysis of ourselves to understand our weakness, our strengths, our opportunities and threats in a better way. So as you can see the screen, the strength block tells you the skills and traits, qualities, characters, attributes that you have that a potential customer needs. So that's a good thing. Keep them and keep working on them. The second block says skills and attributes you don't have. So these are your weakness. So this either you have to get rid of them because your customers do not need them or it is not helping you in your work. The third block is the skills and attributes you do have with you, but your customers do not know about it. Maybe your boss, your manager, your supervisors, or your vendors, or your consumers, they don't know you have this quality or this product. So you need to broadcast these qualities. You need to talk about these qualities to others. Last but not the least are the threats. So these are the qualities you have to fight to get rid of. Okay, so this is the learning from the SWOT analysis we have done. We have to keep the strengths, work on them. We have to convert our weakness into our strength. We have opportunities, we have to talk about it, and the threats we need to fight and get rid of. So shall we move on to the next slide? Okay.
Yes.
So why am I asking you to do this SWOT analysis is, especially we women? Studies show that women do not talk about their achievements, their strengths, their talent as much as men do. For us, everything is for granted. We say, that is my duty, I did it. But men are not like that. They openly talk about even the small achievements they have done. So, studies show that promotions or growth in career, business expansion is very slow when a woman is concerned. So, that is why they think 10 times if a woman is there in line for promotion. So that is why today we are doing this session personal branding. We need to talk for ourselves. We need to maximize the strengths and opportunities we have. And for that, we have to be aware of what opportunities we have. And that is why we did the SWOT analysis. And next is we should reduce our weakness by converting them into strengths and stop all the threats. Okay. Now here again, as I showed the pictures previously, there are few pictures over here. I won't waste time by asking them. I'll just ask one question. Are you familiar with these names? Do you know these people? That's all is my question.
Only heard of Dr. Grace Hopper, the first
Huh.
woman in computers.
The first woman in computers. Yes, most of us know that. But the others, like, Dr. Shirley Ann, and in fact, her invention we use every day. Mary Anderson for the windshield wipers is so important, and USB, we can't think about working without an USB, which was invented by Mr. Ajay V. Bhatt. Okay, so what do we learn from these examples? So as we saw in the quiz, most of these people, maybe they have not spoken about their work, or maybe they have not shared their work with the right people. And so most of us do not know about them. It was okay maybe 10 years ago. Like, my work speaks for myself. I don't have to talk about it. But in this millennium age, personal branding is very important for us to get noticed. If you don't talk about yourself, then others will start talking about you, which may not be in your favor. So it is high time we take control of our brand, sit in the driver's seat, and show your audience what you want to show them. Okay. So moving on, now this is a very interesting slide. Many people ask me a question, from where do I start? How do I start building my brand? Is it internet? Is it online? WhatsApp? I don't know many people. How do I connect? So here's the answer for your question. First is, any sort of relationship you can build your personal brand. It can be your relatives in the WhatsApp group, or in the Facebook group, the LinkedIn group, whichever group, or face to face, your neighbors, or maybe your children's parents. You go to the school, you see people everywhere. You can talk about your work. Do not hesitate. Any sort of relationship will help us build a personal brand. Second is our online presence. So as we are telling, Facebook is good, but it's not the only online platform where you have to be. And you have no choice. You have to be present in all the platforms which are available on the net, be it LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, what else? What else is there? Facebook. Every sort of platform, your presence has to be there. Second, what few people do is, in the morning newspaper, they send out few printed materials about their work to expand their business, especially business people do it. So even printed media. And if it is the example of a working person, your resume talks a lot about you. The way you have taken the interviewer through your resume, the way you have put the details, what is the font you have used, what is the color you have used, how many colors have you used in your resume, how many pages is your resume. So there is entirely different session for this, how to create an effective resume. So we can look into details when we do this session. So the next point is the social media. So as I told you, you have to be present in all the social media. Second is the communication. No matter where we are present, we have to communicate with people. Let it be Facebook, let it be Twitter, let it be LinkedIn. For example, when I'm on Facebook and I had asked for a product, I think. I had asked for a product and I got the reply telling that the product is not there after 3 days. Can you imagine? By the time I had got the product from a different person. So when it comes to communication on social media or otherwise, the rule we follow is if somebody asks us the question, within 3 minutes we have to give them the answer. Now let's say, for example, do you have a particular toy, which I asked. So the answer should come back to me telling that yes, I have, or no, I don't have. This has to happen within first 3 minutes. Okay. If you take emails, for example, this communication, like, can you do this for me, when can you do this, please send the report, whatever email you have got, the reply telling that I can do this by this time, I will send the email by this time, I will send the report by this time, has to go within first 3 hours. Am I making myself clear? When it's a face-to-face instant conversation chatting, within the 3 minutes, you have to give a reply. If it's an email, within 3 hours, you need to give a reply. And within 6 hours, you have to tell them that you are delivering the product by this time, or you have to deliver the product within 6 hours. Let's say it's not possible within 6 hours. Again, you get back into touch with the people whom you are talking and tell, it will take some other time. I will send it to you after tomorrow, or I'm going to send it to you after next week. But after 6 hours, you have to get in touch with the person to tell them your future plans. Communication may sound like a very simple word, people, but it has a very vast meaning and lots of deals, lots of work, your impression, your reputation, everything goes down the drain if you do not have timely communication and communicate properly. Am I clear with this? Hello? Am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So moving forward, how others see us is important. Now, personal branding has two important ingredients. One is how I see myself. What are the qualities I have? Am I fully aware about my strengths? Second is how others see us. Now, where can others see us? Others usually can see us on the social media, like how I mentioned here, the social media and online presence. Now, when we are talking about social media, there are certain rules that we need to follow. So quickly, let's go through these rules, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me when I complete all of them. So the thumb rule over here is we need to be present on all the platforms in social media, as I told you. There is no excuse for telling, I don't like Twitter, I don't like LinkedIn, I'm an online seller, what will I do in LinkedIn? All those excuses just keep aside. Okay? So our activity should be more on the platform according to our audience. Your presence should be there everywhere, but the activities more or less depends upon the audience. Like if I'm a corporate person, if I have corporate audience, I'll be more in LinkedIn, Twitter. And if I'm online seller or if I'm a business person, I'll be in FB, Instagram and Twitter. If I want to improve my network, I'll be in LinkedIn. And if I want to be a part of certain organizations online, then I'll be on FB. So when you search for companies, you get their group, like how we have We Are Here For You group. Every organization has their own group. So you can be a part of the group, which will also help you to be updated with the new technologies or any openings or any vacancies. So you can apply and move forward. So next is you have to be active on all the platforms. You can't just, you opened your Twitter account, you opened your LinkedIn account, and then you don't do any activities on the platform for another week, will not go well. Especially after 2020, the lockdown, we have to be very active on social media. Post pictures, write stories, write about your work, write about your thoughts, comment on other people's posts which they have put. But some activity every day has to go on in all the platforms. Keep aside 1 to 2 hours in a day, especially for this. This is the new way of working right now. Having spoken about our presence on these platforms, there are certain rules we need to follow. Now, every platform should have a picture of yours. Not full length picture from head to toe. It has to be half a buster picture. Your face has to be very clear. Please don't hold your pet or hold your kid, be with your hubby or be with your family and put it on a professional website. When you are talking about your work, you should have your individual pictures. That is very, very important. Second is, do not put holiday pics. Just put a passport size photograph and see that the whole of your face is seen in the photograph. So the next step is you need to create a website for yourself. You need to create a .com for yourself. You need to create a blog for yourself where you regularly write or you upload videos, you write stories, or you have some activities. This is very, very important. Well, if you're very new to the social media, I wouldn't say that, you have to go for this immediately. First, establish yourself in all the platforms and then you can think about the website. And don't forget the YouTube channel. You can keep it for last, but do not forget the YouTube channel to advertise yourself. The most important thing when we are on social media is you should be a part of at least 3 communities on each platform. Now let's say LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a networking site. So if you take this rule, in a month, I should connect with at least 3 people. Facebook. I have to be a part of 3 communities, 3 groups, which is related to my work. Twitter, I have to comment or I have to follow 3 people in a month or 3 people in 2 weeks, whatever is feasible for you. So these are the mandatory steps you have to do when you are online. Am I clear with this? Any questions? Shall I continue?
No questions. Yeah, continue.
Okay. So now if you see the next question there, it says, have you Googled your name? Okay. So what I would request all of you all to do is, after this session, I want you to Google your name and see what comes. Okay. So to find out what others think about us. Now we know what we think about ourselves. Not necessarily others should also think in the same way. So how do we find out what others think about ourselves? Is by Googling our name and see what comes up, because whatever comes up is read by others, and that is what they are going to see about you. Okay. Now, in the next slides, I'll just show you what you have to do and what should come when somebody Googles your name. For example, if you see the left-hand picture, you go to the Google search bar. If you see, I've written my name, Vaijayanti Earth there. In the second picture, I put my name in the Google search. Okay. So moving on, when I click enter, my profile has to come like this. It should have a picture, okay, and it should tell who I am, and a small write-up, a small introduction. This is called as elevator speech. This, my name is Vaijayanti Earth, I'm a silver medalist in gender psychology, blah, 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 blue, blue, blue. This is called as the elevator speech. Why do we call it as elevator speech? Because it should not be more than 2 or 3 minutes. See, when we enter into an elevator, we hardly spend 2 to 3 minutes there and then we move out. So people would not like to read stories about you. They just want a gist about you in 1 or 2 minutes. So after the session today, guys, I want you to work on your Google page first. Okay? So when you search a person's name, it gives out everything. Even if you're on a dating site, that site and your name will appear on Google. And trust me, if your business partners or your company people are Googling you, that is not a good site to be seen. So be very careful when you are on the social media. So if you see the second picture, you can see a school, college, employees whom you're working with, etc., etc. So I'll move on to the next slide. So if you see the first picture there, it says National Head Learning and Development. So right now, I'm the National Head of Learning and Development for a private firm. Our company has a rule that I shouldn't mention the company's name, so that's why I've not mentioned it. Next, if you see my LinkedIn profile where I'm a freelance trainer, a consultant type. Then if you see the next thing is FlexiPort Work Exchange. So here we can share our thoughts as a trainer or as a L&D, learning and development manager. We can ask questions and say, I have this problem, how do you help me? So this is a field where we exchange thoughts. Again, on YouTube, I have a couple of videos, or I have subscribed for certain videos. That also comes. What videos I've seen, what videos I've subscribed, everything comes over there if you enter, if you click on that. Next is I'm a part of another platform called Academia, where we can upload our work, create our work and upload it there so that others can read and learn. It is a self-learning platform. So next, if you see mystery shopping. So these are all the activities I do. So anything you do, please upload it on the internet. Mystery shopping is before promotions where these, you have these shops and stores. They ask us to go as customers and give us a feedback of how the people are attending the customers. Based on our feedback, their promotion, increment, or firing from the job happens. So it is quite a delicate task to do. So I am very good at doing mystery shopping. I've done for Marks and Spencers, I've done for Manyavar, I've done for a lot of people like that. So next is, there is another platform where you can see, again, this is uploading of your details. Then also I have Facebook. So in Facebook, which group I'm a part of, all that comes. If you see the last picture, it says Vaijayanti Movies. Certainly that's not me. So this is the main thing what happens on the internet. Your name, there will be 10 people. So when you click your name, what comes in the search, the information that comes in the search is very important. The last picture is not me, but still it comes there. So how can we reduce these unwanted pointers only by increasing our activity online. So during this year 2020, I haven't been much active, and this new thing has popped up. There's some Vyjayanti movies going on there, and everybody feels I'm a producer. So that is the wrong information about me. So this is what others are going to see about you. So after today's session, you have to first Google your name, see what is happening, what comes, and try to reduce the unwanted pointers or the pointers of other people. Am I clear about this? Are we clear? Shall I move on?
Yes.
Why am I asking you to do this is the people remember we are the CEOs of our work and ourselves. Okay? And people should know that nobody is going to talk for us. We need to do the talking for ourselves. Now let me explain this through a story. I'm sure all of you would have heard the name Alfred Nobel. Yes? Have you heard about the person Alfred Nobel? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes. Nobel.
Who is Alfred? See, dynamite are the things which we use it to, burst the, in the quarry, to burst the granite, to burst the boulders. So one morning when he was sipping coffee and looking at the newspaper, he saw his own obituary. I'm sure all of us know what is obituary. Obituary is a column where you put the photograph or a picture of a person who's passed away and write a few lines. So coincidentally, there was another person called Alfred Nobel, and that person had passed away. The press mistook it to be this person who has invented the dynamite, and they wrote in the obituary. The photo was of a different person, but the line they wrote was, "Finally, the dynamite king has exploded." So this was the obituary written for the name Alfred Nobel, but the picture was different. So this put Alfred Nobel into thinking. He didn't want people to talk like this behind his back. Now remember the definition. Personal brand is what people talk about you when you are not in the room. So he didn't want people to talk like this behind his back. So he brought in a lot of changes in the way he worked, or in his life. He started helping the poor people who had talent in their studies or experiments. So he started helping young scientists. He introduced a lot of scholarships and awards, and today Nobel Peace Award is the world's highest award one can get. So now we remember him not as a dynamite king, but as a Nobel Award founder. How many of y'all know that he was the person who invented dynamite? Very few of us know about this fact. So that is what I was telling you. We should take charge of what people think about us. We might say, I don't care what people think about me, I'm going to do what I like. Well, 10 years ago, this worked. But now, this attitude, this statement doesn't work for us. Only if you create the right impression, I'm not even telling a good impression, because there's nothing good or bad when it comes to experience. So only when you create the right impression with your audience will your personal brand grow, helping you in your profession. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Okay, good. No questions. Now here we come to the end of the theory part. So until now I spoke, I've explained you so many things. So moving on, there's a very interesting activity where I want everybody to do it. We'll go question by question. So the next activity is what is called as psychometry test. Psychometry test to find out how is my personal brand on the digital media. Okay, so here there are 25 statements. They are not even questions. There are 25 statements. So you have to just write one and next to it the answer. For example, after a 30-second review of my resume or LinkedIn profile, my expertise is easily understood. Yes, yes or no. So if it is yes, write one and next to one, write yes. If it is no, write no. No explanation, no any other answer. It is either yes or no. Am I clear? Yes. So shall we start our test right now? So don't get very scared. We are not going to discuss the score. I'm not going to ask you what is your score, but I will give you the result. So depending on the score, you can find out what is your presence on the digital media. And after this test, you sit down and think how you would like to improve. So let's start off with the first question. So write number one in your sheet, and here I'm reading out the first question. I'll just explain it to you. Like if anybody looks at your resume or your profile online, within 30 seconds, they will know what are your strengths. Are you a leader in whatever you're doing? So are you a pioneer? They will know everything about you in 30 seconds when they read your introduction. Yes or no? Done? Here I want to know the answer. Done. Only then I'll go on to the next question.
Done.
Okay, now second question. Now see, I have taken a formal 360-degree feedback from the past 12 months. I'll explain to you what it is. 360 feedback means taking feedback from the customers, taking feedback from your neighbors, from your one lower and one higher, taking feedback from everybody. I'm just not talking only from your customers or only from your boss or only from your colleagues. 360-degree feedback is taking feedback about my work. What do you feel about me? What do you feel about my work? Asking people for feedback. Have I asked people for my feedback in the last 1 year? Yes or no? If it's no, don't think no is zero and yes has more marks. It's not like that. It is just yes or no, and every answer has a different score. So don't worry about the score. Don't think if it is no, it is zero. Nothing like that.
This was done beyond, not in the last 12 months. It's a little old.
In the last 1 year, beyond. If it's beyond, then it's a no. I'm only talking about last 1 year. See, because this is specially made for the COVID 2020 this thing. So we are very particular about last 12 months.
Okay.
Okay, move on to the third question. Now here there is A, B, C, D, E. Choose whichever is appropriate for you. I'll read out the question. Now, if I'm a working professional, okay, or if I'm a business person, have I taken this psychometry test? Now see guys, in this modern era, if we have to understand our strengths and weakness, from time to time, you'll get a lot of online tests like this, like Myers and Briggs, DISC, interpersonal inventory. There are so many psychometry tests which is related to your work. So, have you taken any of this test? I am not asking the time. Throughout your life, till now, have you taken any of these psychometry tests and analyzed yourself? So, A, no, B is 1, C is 2, D is 3, E is 4 or more. Whichever is applicable for you. If you haven't done, start doing it from now. It really helps you to grow as a professional and as a person also. We move on to the next question.
Yes.
Okay. Here comes the next question. My photo on all social media platforms was updated less than 12 months ago. Means within last 12 months in 2020, from Jan till December, have you uploaded your new photos on all the platforms, not one platform? If you've done only on one or two, then the answer is no. As I told you, you have to be active all the time. 6 months once or 1 year once, you have to change your photographs on your social media. Very, very important. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yes.
So here it's very clearly says we are only talking about LinkedIn. If you're a corporate person, online seller, it doesn't matter. Okay? Everybody. Even if you're a homemaker, it doesn't matter. Even homemakers have LinkedIn. There's nothing wrong in it. So I've updated my LinkedIn profile in the past 45 days. That is last 3 months. Have you updated your LinkedIn profile for the last 3 months? Yes or no? Shall we move on to the next question? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Other than Facebook, I have a couple of online profiles. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever is applicable for you. Other than Facebook, I am also present in other platforms. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whichever is applicable, write A, B, C, D, E, whichever. Please don't write the answer, write A, B, C, D, guys, because you have to score your answers later. Shall we move on?
Yes.
So the next one. Listen to this carefully. I've attended at least one professional development conference. Means something related to your job. You should have attended a training or a conference in the last 1 year. 12 months we are talking about. In 2020, any conference or any workshop or any training related to my work have I attended? Yes or no? A or B? We move on to the next question. Now, this is a very interesting question. For sales people, first I'll tell you, the last time I had good sales, I mean wonderful sales, the highest sales, the last time when did you have? If you are a working employee, last time when did you get your promotion? I don't get good sales and promotions easily. I got it 1 year ago, I got it 6 months and a year ago. I have in the last 6 months. I've had in the last 6 months. Whichever one is applicable for you. Where C is, if 6, 7, 8 months if you've got, you can say C, and D is within 6 months. Are we done? Shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay. So the ninth question, I have created different versions of my professional introduction for various social media. Very important. See, I can't have the same introduction on Google, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. For every platform, I should change my introduction according to my audience. So look at the answers, whichever is applicable for you. I rewrite my resume for every single job, or you have one resume for all. Between 2 to 3 versions. I have 2 to 3 introductions about myself. If you ask me, I have an introduction for all the websites which are different. I have only one and I paste the same thing for all, is C. I have just 2 versions, is D. If you don't have it all, you can go for A. Because every time I rewrite, I don't have an introduction or a resume. Are we done? I'm moving on to the next question. Here. I've had at least one promotion or terrific sales in 9 months. Just consider last 9 months. Have you had a promotion or have you had a very good sale? Not just sales, it has to be very good. Yes or no? Moving on to the next question. I have the required job skills and experience for my present job. Means I have changed my weakness also. I have no weakness in my job. I have all the skills I want for my present job and I have all the experience I need for my present job. Moving on to the next question, it's very simple. I'm active in at least one social media network. As I'm talking about networking sites like LinkedIn, Twitter is not a networking site, Facebook is a networking site, LinkedIn is a networking site, YouTube is not a networking site, it's an advertising site. So the question says, I am active in at least one social media network. Shall I move on? Guys, you need to answer. Otherwise, I will not know. Can you hear me? Okay, fine. So moving on to the next question. Now, this is a very important question. My network spans outside my industry, means other than my colleagues, other than my customers. How much it has spread? About 10%, 10 to 30, more than 30. I'm a newcomer in the industry and I'm still, trying to know people. My network means the people I know outside my work. I know other professionals. That is what it says. Outside my work, how many other people I know? Do I know 10% of the people outside my work? Do I know 10 to 30%? More than 30%? Maybe through WhatsApp or maybe through SMS, through chat, or maybe through Facebook pages. Outside my work, how many percentage of people I know? So moving on to the 14th question. In the past 90 days, that is in the past 3 months, I have Googled myself and I am aware of about the top 3 search results. Yes or no? I've Googled myself and I know what are the 3 things which comes about me on the Google. Yes or no? Shall I move on? I'm going on to the next question. So it would take me less than an hour to prepare for a last minute job interview. If somebody asks me talk, I just need your webinar with how do I other industries. And when you train, they should understand what you are training them. You can't just talk and walk off and say, I finished the training. I am very clear that I can very well transfer my experience and my knowledge to others. Yes or no? Next question is, I have changed jobs within the past 3 years. Yes or no? I'm moving on. Next question is, I'd have two separate profiles in the same network. Like for example, in Facebook, I have two profiles. In LinkedIn, I have two profiles to properly represent my background and experience. They are asking, do you have two profiles in the same network? Even if it is one network, you have two profiles, it is yes. Do you have two profiles in the same network? Next question is, I can easily identify my top 3 skills. That is something which I can do better than others. I can easily tell you. If you ask me, I can just tell you like this. So if I ask you what are your strengths, I can easily tell you that, I'm a good time management person. I organize myself very well and I'm a good communicator. Like that. I can easily identify my top 3 skills related to my work. Next question is very interesting, and this you need to work upon at any given point of time. I can easily name off top of my head 10 people who would be good connections to help me get a promotion or expand my sales. So what they are asking is, I can easily name 10 people who can help me expand my business or get a promotion at work, not one or two. When they mean 10, they mean 10. It can be your colleagues, your seniors, your juniors, anybody. Your vendors, your customers, your clients, your neighbors, 10 people. Take your time. If you get all the 10 names, only then please tick yes. Remember, this is a self-analysis tool. We are analyzing where we stand. Shall I move on? Yes? Guys? Okay, done. So moving on. But in spite of that, I have learned a new skill in connection with my work, in connection with my career in the past 12 months. Yes or no? Moving on to the next question. Per week, I receive an average of the following number of LinkedIn connection requests or new orders. So what we are asking here is, every week on an average, okay, I receive requests for building my network. Here we are not talking about work, we are just talking about networking. How good is my networking skills? So every week, do I get any requests? Here we are only talking about LinkedIn, no any other profile. So if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, then it is A. So every week, do I receive any requests for others to connect with me? Or assurance sales, do I get any new orders every week? Yes, no, or how many? Are we done? I'm moving on to the next question.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, the numbers are typed wrong, 24 and 25, because I did this PPT on the cell phone, so it was quite a task. Okay, the next question is, if I were asked to serve as a guest speaker.
1 minute.
Ah.
Can you go to the previous page? Because I think 23 also has not been done.
21, 22. I think it's 20, 24 and 25 is here. So this 25 is 23, ma'am. I'm so sorry about
Okay.
it. Because, you know, my laptop is under repair, so I did the whole thing on the cell phone. Okay, shall we go on to the question? If I were asked to be a guest speaker and talk about my work, okay, I am clear what I should talk. Now let's say, can you, ma'am, tomorrow can you share your experience and your work skills with our newcomers if they say, you don't panic, you know what to talk. Are you ready like that? That is what they're asking. Yes or no? Moving on. I know what most people find interesting about my background, means about my skills, about my strengths, about my expertise and work history. They are simply asking, are other people interested to learn from you? That's all. The meaning of the 24th statement is, are other people interested to learn from you? Do they look up to you like a mentor, a teacher, or, you know, advisor, suggester, suggesting things? So we move on to the last question. I am clear about my top job strength. Quickly, without much thought, I can identify. So this is again repeated. Remember, these questions are twisted and turned so that you give the same answer. Understand the question. It says, I know my top job strength. Means I know my strength in my job without second thoughts. I don't have to think much when they ask what is your strength. All this is related to SWOT analysis. So imagine how much time you took there and answer the question. Somebody is yawning.
Sorry, ma'am, missed my tea. That's all.
No, ma'am. We usually yawn when there is a lack of oxygen. So I don't take it otherwise at all. I totally understand. And it's evening time also, so totally understand. So are we done with the last question?
Yes.
Okay. Now we are going to score our answers. I'm sure all of you have written 1, 2, 3, 4 till 25 and then written A, B, C, D. Yeah. So here comes your score. Look at it carefully. For A, you put A 0, B means 1, C means 2, D means 3, E means 4. 1 if you have given B, then you score yourself as 1. 2 if you've given A, you score yourself as 0. Then total all the numbers from 1 to 25, total the scores and tell me when you're done. Score your answers and total your score. No, you just write down the total score in your paper. I will show you the results of the score. Okay, now shall we take a look at the result?
One minute, ma'am.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Done.
Okay, great. Now let's go into the scoring. There are 4 categories. If you have scored between 32 and 43, you are very good at your personal branding. People know about you, people know about your work. Keep up the good work. Don't become lazy. Please have the same energy and strength in building your brand. Okay? Now moving on to the next set. If you've scored between 22 to 31, means you are in the growing phase. Like we have a curve, right? Everything which goes up comes down. So you are climbing the hill. You are not there, but you're almost there. Maybe you have to put in a little more effort. Maybe small changes here and there you have to do in your attitude or thinking process or lifestyle change, something like that. You have to figure it out, but you are on the growing phase. You're almost there, not on the growing phase. You're almost there. So moving on to the next set, if you scored between 11 to 21 is maybe you're confused, you don't know how to build your personal brand, or maybe you don't know what things you should talk about, what strengths you have to talk about yourself. You have to sit down and first plan what are you going to tell people about yourself. Maybe some people have a good opinion about you, some people may have not so good opinion about you. So there is a confusion. So you have to strategize. You have to sit down, stop, sit down, strategize, come up with a new plan, and then start working on your personal brand, be it in the office or sales. So if you've scored between 0 to 10, we are at the scratch. We have to start working on our personal brand. Maybe you felt it was not very important for me to work on my personal brand because my work usually goes on. I don't have much hassles. I don't see the need for it. Maybe you are under this thought process and not worked about it. So it's high time. This lockdown has taught us that everything is on the net nowadays, and we refer net for every small thing. So start working on your personal brand. So, okay, guys. So here we come to the end of the session, and thank you very much for listening to me patiently. Because this is a new concept, most of us are not aware of it. Even if we are aware, we do not take it seriously. But trust me, the power of the brand, the power of how to use your brand is very, very important. It helps us to accelerate our job, sales, business, whatever. So it is slowly growing, expanding. This concept is slowly being accepted by many people. So let us not be behind. Think about what we have discussed today. If you want to ask any questions, please let me know one on one, or we have on WhatsApp group, or we you can even ask me questions on the Facebook page. So I am ending the session here. Any questions for me?